I just know Brulax was looking at Star Platinum the World like this, posting that damn sneak peek. And to all the Star Platinum the World mains that thought, damn, my main about to get buff, I am sorry for your loss. But alas, it is time to move on. Now, before I get into the meat and potatoes of this video, I do have a disclaimer. This video will be structured a little bit differently. I will be doing the same format generally. I'll do an abstract, showcase, strategies and playstyle, cards to use, and then a conclusion. However, that conclusion will be more of me explaining why Star Platinum the World is flawed and how I would fix it. So, if you want to see that, do stay tuned to the end. Star Platinum the World is an up-close grappler type stand. If you're wondering why I'm calling him a grappler, I will explain later, just give me time. He has strong moves that do good amount of damage, a very strong projectile, and a fast time stop that has a very short cooldown. But a lot of his close range attacks have a very long windup, making it kinda hard to land your attacks. Star Platinum the World also lacks skills that could help him get in on his target and put him in the optimal range to do a lot of damage. And lastly, Star Platinum the World also lacks a traditional combo starter. None of his attacks are fast enough or have enough stun to combo off one another. But anywho, it is time to get on to the showcase. For his M1s, you will do 3 hits that do 11 damage, and then a final heavy hit doing 15. On E, you have Barrage. He will send a flurry of hits, each doing 1.3 damage, and then leading into one final hit doing 15 damage. This will do around 50-ish if you hit all the hits. Barrage has a cooldown of 15 seconds. Next is the infamous Aura Punch. Aura Punch now has 3 iterations of the move depending on when and where it is activated. I will start off with the counter version. When out of time stop, Aura Punch will cause Star Platinum the World to glow blue. If you are to be hit by a melee attack, then you will counter the opponent and Star Platinum will slam them onto the ground doing 30 damage. If you are shot while Star Platinum the World is flashing blue, you will teleport to the side, kinda like King Crimson's Foresight. While used in time stop, you will do the slam down without needing counter, however it will only do 13 damage. This move has a cooldown of 11 seconds. Next is Bearing Shot. Star Platinum the World will shoot off 3 pellets that each do 15 to the head and 10 to the body if shot at a somewhat close range, and from a far range will do 10 to the head and 9 to the body. These damage numbers seem to fluctuate. I might have gotten those wrong, so if I am wrong, then please comment. Bearing Shot has a cooldown of 12 seconds. Next, bound to G, is the time stop. Star Platinum the World will stop time for 3 whole seconds. This move has a very short cooldown of 30 seconds. Now, due to the fact that Star Platinum the World is a time stop stand, you will have a 75% damage reduction. And you'll have a 60 damage cap, meaning you cannot do more than 60 damage to your target while in time stop. Star Platinum the World's final move is the beatdown. Star Platinum will grab the person in front of him and send out a flurry of hits, each doing 0.5 damage, and ending with a strong punch that does 15 damage. This move should do around 37 damage, and also has a cooldown of 45 seconds. Alright, I'm done with the showcase. It's time to talk about why this sucks. Now, before I get to ragging on Star Platinum the whole time, I do want to give some tips, as this is the strategy and playstyle section. I'm like legally obligated to at least help somewhat in this video, so here you go. Like I had mentioned before, Star Platinum the World does not have any traditional tools to put him in the position that he wants to be, being up close and in your opponent's face. So, in order to get there, you will need some good-ass movement. You'll need to be able to dodge enemy gunfire and use your rolls effectively while not wasting too much stamina. A singular bit of stamina needs to be wasted. Star Platinum's moves are very long. His barrage and his beatdown take a lot of stamina, so you will want to conserve as much stamina as possible while still making distance on your opponent. Blocking can help you very much. Blocking enemy gunfire and then running whenever they're reloading can help you get in on your target that is trying to zone you out with their weapons. For the barrage, my tip for you is to try and combo it with the slide tackle. I'll talk about cards more, but due to Star Platinum's really long windup on the barrage, it is kind of hard to hit opponents with it that are awake and at the wheel. You can't really use it raw, otherwise it will miss. Another thing I'd like to mention is that once Star Platinum gets up and going and starts punching the opponent, you can actually let go of E and equip your weapon. Star Platinum the World will detach from you and will continue to beat down the opponent, allowing you to aim and line up a shot. The counter. Ooh. I do have a few tips for the counter. The counter has a reduced cooldown of 7 seconds on whiff, so it could be a valuable strategy, especially at range, to just kind of use it and hope for the best. From my perspective, Aura Punch, the counter kind of just seems like a watered down version of Foresight. So, you know, if you're being shot at, then just, you might catch something. My next tip is that you can counter gun users, and not just dodge, but counter with 30 damage. If you are close enough. Guns actually have a hitbox by the muzzle when fired, so if close enough, you can actually counter them. Okay, this one is a bit wonky, and I wish I had the clip for it, but I forgot to record. You can also counter spin users. However, it is different from countering gun users. I am not sure if it is a glitch or not, but from what I've seen, it seems that you can counter spin users' throws from basically any distance. Definitely much further than where you could counter a gun user if they hit you from up close. What will happen is that the spin user will throw their ball, it will hit you, quote unquote, and then Star Platinum will basically teleport however far away he needs to hit the spin user. So the counter is decent against spin users. In that same vein, vampires are extremely a very long windup on their attacks, and seeing how they are one of the few groups of people that are going to be actively trying to run up on you and hit you, spamming counter against them will be very effective. The same applies for saber users. Saber users are also pretty easy to counter. Stand barrages are also very easy counters, due to the fact that the stand will usually do a little twirl before the first punch. When that first twirl comes out, hit your counter. Bearing shot is a great move, but however, do be aware that it does have a slight charge up, meaning that if the opponent realizes, they can block it. So it is best used at a mid-range. At this range, it will also do its maximum damage without fall off. After any ragdoll, specifically after your M1s, barrage, or your beatdown, you can fire a bearing shot. This will not be a true combo, however, if you have good enough aim, you can get a little bit of chip damage off of your combos. Time stop. Quite honestly, time stop will be your main combo starter, which sucks, and I will explain later why that sucks. Time stop will be your main combo extender. You have 30 seconds, so my best tip to you is to bearing shot 2 M1s, and at the very end of your time stop, do your R. This will stun the opponent onto the ground. However, this will put Star Platinum the World in a lot of end lag. So trying to combo with a beatdown might be really hard. So I'd recommend just pulling out your gun and waiting for Star Platinum to finish his little animation. Lastly is the beatdown. This is a grab move, so it should have the ability to go through block. It does have a really long windup, so it has kind of the same issues as barrage. I recommend using either your gun or spin to aim for the opponent's leg to prevent them from moving. Beatdown, and by extension, barrage, will be much easier to hit. When using beatdown, your opponent will be launched in any direction that you are looking in. So something that I like to do is that I will hit the beatdown, walk in front of Star Platinum the World, and then look forward. Star Platinum the World will then throw the opponent in front of me, which can allow me to hit a shotgun shot. If I missed anything, do put it in the comment section. I got flamed in my last video for it, so just put whatever you know in the comment section. Alright, onto the cards. The first card that I recommend is Anger Issue and Boy with Fist. Boy with Fist because it will increase your melee damage with Star Platinum the World, and Anger Issues does the same thing. Like I said before, you don't have any tools to get in on your opponent, so you will be running at your opponent a lot of the time. If you're running at your opponent, you will get hit a lot, so you might as well turn that damage into some sort of boon with Anger Issues. Free Runner. Use Free Runner. Free Runner gives you an extra 20 stamina, which is good if you're using your stand a lot, and it also gives you a slide tackle that allows you to really easily combo into either barrage or beatdown. Just note that comboing from the free runner tackle into barrage or beatdown is not 100% true, but if your opponent is asleep at the wheel, you can quite easily hit it. Free runner a lot of the time will be your main combo starter, so I less recommend it to you and more tell you to use it. Secret technique can also be very good, kind of for a similar reason as Anger Issues. If you're going to be running at your target, you're going to take a lot of damage. So So being able to boost your speed to either run away or charge at your opponent is quite useful. Next is sturdy. I'm gonna keep repeating myself here. You're going to take a lot of damage charging at your opponent. So having sturdy will give you a little bit of a net. More health, so take more hits to give you more chances to get on your opponent. Now, I have some questions that I need to answer. 1. Is Star Platinum the world washed? Yeah, this motherfucker washed as fuck. And 2, why did I label Star Platinum the world a grappler at the beginning of the abstract? Well, it is because Star Platinum the world's game plan kind of reminds me of how a lot of grappler archetypes in 2D fighting games work. My example is Zangief from Street Fighter. Zangief's whole identity is to get up close and to grab you and do like 25% of your health. The only issue with this is that Zangief does not have any tools that helps him get to that position. If Zangief wants to get close, he will have to do it himself. Very similarly to Star Platinum the world in this game. So, Star Platinum the world has a hard time getting in. But what about the damage? In theory, Star Platinum the world should have a lot of damage. His barrage does 50 damage and his beatdown does 37. Those are not numbers to just brush off. That is a lot of damage. The issue is that Star Platinum the world has no way to initiate that damage. Barrage and beatdown have extremely long windups. So if you use them when you're up close to your opponent, they will notice and dodge away, meaning you cannot start your offense with those. Bearing shot does not disable limbs, so you cannot shoot an opponent's leg and then dash up on them. Then the R, and I will talk about the R stinks and I hate it. But what about Freerunner? Freerunner does solve this issue with Star Platinum's lack of ability to start his own combo, but due to the fact that Star Platinum the world has to work to get in on his opponent, he's naturally bound to use a lot of stamina just trying to get close enough to the opponent to do anything. So by the time that you are in on your opponent, what happens a lot of the time is that you will have enough stamina for the Freerunner to slide tackle, but not enough stamina to actually do any damage with Star Platinum, potentially stand crashing yourself in the process. But what about the R? The R does 30 damage and does a lot of stun. I hate the R. I hate the counter. I hate it so much. Why do I hate the counter? Because it takes away so much agency from Star Platinum the world's offense. Instead of being able to start your own combos, you essentially have to rely on opponent's foolishness to start your offense. And what if you're up against a competent opponent? They're not going to rush you. They're probably going to keep away from you and shoot at you until you burn your counter on a dodge. And then once you do that, then they will come in on you because they know you cannot start your offense without committing to very long wind-up attacks, which only leaves us with time stop. Oh my god, I hate time stop. Not because it's unbalanced or whatever, or at least not on Star Platinum the world. I hate time stop because it feels like a crutch. You know what? Not even a crutch. One of those little baby walkers that teaches babies how to walk. That's what time stop feels on Star Platinum the world. It genuinely feels like you cannot do any damage with Star Platinum the world unless if you need to time stop. And if you don't have time stop, oh well, try again next time. The issue with time stop is that it neuters your damage. So it's either you try really hard and die without using time stop, or you don't try very hard, you use time stop and you get a quarter, and then your opponent runs away again, and then you have to do it all over again. Quite simply, Star Platinum the world does not have the tools he needs in order to execute what he wants. And what he wants is high damage, but he does not have those high damage options. He does not have those combo starters to allow him to do that high damage. So he can neither get close to the opponent, and even when he does, he doesn't do the damage that he deserves. So, how would I fix this problem? I will propose a slight rework idea because reworking one move is not going to save Star Platinum the world. However, when doing this theoretical rework, I will give myself one limitation. That one limitation is that I am not allowed to increase Star Platinum the world move list, and that is all. What I would first do is remove beatdown. Remove beatdown and attach it to the E. Make it similar to like GE's barrage, how you use the barrage and then you hit a quick time event and then you get the full beatdown. I honestly don't see the need to have them in two separate moves, so just make them one. Next is the R. The R can stay mostly the same. However, what I would change about it is that when using it out of time stop, you can press R again to cancel the counter, do a small, and I mean small, lunge forward into a heavy hit that will knock the opponent down. This will allow Star Platinum the World to close that last bit of distance while being able to start up his offense. This move probably wouldn't do that much damage. I would say even less than the time stop version of Aura Punch, but we don't need this move for the damage. We just need this to allow Star Platinum the World to start his combos. The T. What I would change about the T is very simple. Make it so that it can injure opponents. Make it so that you can disable limbs with Bearing Shot. Lastly, the V. The V is kind of just empty. So what would I do with it? The V can be one of two things. Either a time skip, potentially, like a short range time skip. Personally, I'm not too for this idea due to the fact that I do kind of like the idea that Star Platinum the World does have to work for his damage, but a short time skip wouldn't hurt. And also some mobility to be allowed to get up certain buildings and stuff would also be kind of nice. Or the V can just be reworked into a different grab, kind of like how the original Star Platinum has. I think I am just about done here, so I would like to ask, if you want to see another stand for this series, drop it in the comments and I will do the one that is most requested or the most interesting. And if you agree with my changes to Star Platinum the World, also throw that in the comments. Or if you disagree and have a different idea for how Star Platinum the World should be handled, then also put that in the comment section. But yeah, if you made it this far, thank you, and please like and subscribe.